Welcome once again to First Light. My guest today is Itzik Asher, sculptor, eight-party, painter, artist, scuba diver, archaeologist, but at this point in time we're going to show some of his marvelous work, which has been shown at a gallery in the alley near O'Malley's, and will soon be closed, so if you have a chance, please get to look at it before he goes back to West Palm Beach. Welcome, Itzik.
Thank you for having me here.
I must make first my own personal feelings on this, because I think that's the whole idea. When you go to see art, it's your own feelings, the individual's feelings, and when I began to view it, I saw something that isn't there that I want to find out about you. The beauty is there, the unusual elongated type of figures, the myths are there, but I'm not so sure I see Itzik. So tell me what you think, for argument's sake, when you made any one of these beautiful sculptures. What do you think when you made that one with the bird in the hand over there, which is bronze, right?
Yeah, you see, all my sculptures are bronzes. But you must understand that the process to making sculpture started with clay or plaster. I will say I'm doing sculpture for about 25 years, since I finished art school in 1960.
Well, what school did you go to?
I went to Avni Art of School in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Israel.
And the style, it's a process which taking a long time, and I want to believe that I created my own style.
Yes.
And I got that impressed by people who come and see me in shows.
Yes.
And come to me and say, hey, we saw your sculpture there, and we saw your sculpture there, and etc.
Do you get feedback? Does that help you in a sense when you get the feedback of somebody viewing your work? People like me who look at something that is so well executed, I'm looking at it in a more professional way maybe, but there's a story in each of your pieces of work.
I will put it this way. You see, as a young artist, I did something different. I used to do what you call today modern art.
Right.
Welding steel together. And but since I discovered the clay, and I will say lately, and lately I mean in the last 10 years, I find out that life is complicated enough, and I going back, I will say, to the nature, to the simplicity, to pure, and to the story who started with once upon a time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go far to realize that a lot of people realize now what is the price that we're paying for the modern industrial generation that we are at.
In other words, you're saying our industrialization has caused us to pay a very severe price in the spirit.
I will say definitely yes, and not only in the spirit, but in effect. Look at what's happening to the water, to the land, to the air.
Yeah.
Actually, I must say something which maybe doesn't belong, but I find East Hampton to be a very, very, very aware of this type of subject.
Yeah.
And as much as the authority seems to be tough about it, I say the result is that it's one of the places that you enjoy being. Fresh air, green.
Right.
And so that's maybe inspire a lot of artists to come here.
That's why we do have them, and
but
they do grow.
I will say in general, the concept of doing art. The question in general is what is art
Yes.
is all about.
Yes.
Is art is a reflector of the present, or it is a dream, or it is a I will say
Harbinger of the future.
right. It describe any future. By me, since I told you that I really want to see the nature, the simplicity, the pluralism, I'm going back, and I think I'm going back to the past.
Yes, yes.
By me, the past was much more simple,
When you say
romantical.
past, it's like how far back are you going? To the Bible? Because a lot of your things have paintings have mythical background.
Okay, you're right about that. I wouldn't say Bible, but I used to have my studio in my gallery for 17 years in Caesarea, which is in
Yeah.
on the Mediterranean coast,
Yes.
between Haifa and Tel Aviv in Israel.
Yes.
And Caesarea was actually a city built by King Herod 2,000 years ago.
Right. Right.
It took him about 15 years to build that city, from, I would say, 22 BC up to 10 BC, 12 years. And this city was built for the Roman people,
Yes.
with the marble, with beautiful sculpture.
The tiles and everything.
Yes. And near my gallery, I used to own as a hobby, more than as making a living out of it, scuba diving center.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
And I was a part of archaeologic digging, which archaeology is a major part of my life. It's my hobby, and maybe more than that. And I going through my art, you can see in here, I go into that ancient marine civilization.
Marine, right.
And you can see through my sculpture as well all the marine life, which is very important for me, and the blue of the ocean, Caesarea Bay.
Blue has always been a biblical color, if I'm not mistaken. Where did they get the blue originally? From one of the ancient cities?
Actually, the blue they used to have from one of the shells.
Yes, yes, yes.
Not lately, but we find in Caesarea, we find a small farm that they used to grow
grow the
shells, especially to have that kind of blue. But in general speaking, I will say that it is. Some people come and see, what do you, we see some Egyptian in the face of this sculpture, for example, the fisher woman.
Yeah, the hair comb.
And I will say, some people ask me, why do I do the hair like this, or the figure remind sort of Egyptian or Middle Eastern? And I say, right. You asked me before, why did I did that sculpture, particular one with the bird? Honestly, I don't plan the sculpture in advance.
Of course.
Well, it's have to come from inside.
Right.
And you have to be honest with yourself, otherwise it wouldn't come right. And you don't have the time for it, because sculpture taking almost a year, 8 to a year months to do. Yeah. And I will say you have the time to face it, to fight it, and to get to the point that that's the way you want the sculpture. And by me, sculpture is never finished. And if it wasn't the necessity to bring it to the foundry, or I mean to pay some bills, so the way of speaking,
You have a point, because I find paintings can be finished. I mean, through the artist's eye, paintings can be finished to him. Sometimes an artist is never satisfied with what he's done, and only begins to appreciate it after the public likes it.
I would say by me, you see, it's very sensitive subject about the public likes it or not. first you have to like it.
Very
That's the
important.
concept.
Absolutely.
First, you have to like it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, since the process of making a sculpture is long, I will say time is a big factor here.
Yeah.
And let's say I finish sculpture, and I change during that year. So
Yes.
the sculpture is changed.
Yourself, right.
I am
Right.
changing, my feeling to the sculpture change.
Right.
So I change the sculpture because I don't, if it's take me a year, I don't mean that I start in the morning, I finish the middle of the night and keep going day after day, because I do some other thing.
Yeah.
I can leave the sculpture for 2 months or a month, and then I come back to it, and I have a different feeling. What I want to say, you see, I got from time to time, I do have some students, usually friends that they bother me enough for me to handle them. And I keep telling them, don't be occupied by any concept.
Ah, that's true. Don't limit yourself.
Don't limit it.
Yeah,
Don't be
yeah.
afraid to change.
Right.
Cut and do until
Right.
you can live with this. Because I want to tell you that, let's say 10 years, 15 years passed, and I see a sculpture by me, if I still like the sculpture that I did 15 years ago,
Yeah.
then or 20 years ago, I say, okay, I look at the sculpture, I say, I did it. I can say, well, I did it. But I can say, well, I did it, and
Yeah.
it's a good sculpture.
Yeah.
And in order to say that, you cannot just do any improvisation.
While you try, I'm looking at the various sizes of your pieces. These are only a few that were in the gallery. And these are moderate size. This is small. This is getting bigger. And hold on 1 minute. I have some shots that I left over there I want to get.
Okay, I will...
So you can continue to talk about your work while I go get those shots.
Okay, in general, I do sculpture in a different size. Technically, and now I know better about the technique part, since I bought a foundry. I used to be a customer of that foundry in West Palm Beach, and I bought him a year ago. You can enlarge any sculpture to any size. I do like to work in big sizes, and in general I do big sizes as well. I do 8 and 9 foot tall outdoor sculpture.
Wait, you got one here that's 9 feet tall. I'd like to show on the camera, if I may.
Yeah, this one I brought to the show here in the East Hampton.
That's what really struck me when I walked in the first time. Can we, there. Perfect.
Yeah, this is
That's 9 feet.
9 feet, and I call it the Lady of the Ark, which got a biblical name.
What do you mean by the Lady of the Ark?
The Lady of the Ark, Noach Ark.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
Since
she
I love-
was one of the two?
No, what actually happened there, that she wasn't mentioned in
No
that
women.
story.
Oh.
Was the animals, and there was the Noah, his sons, but not the Lady of the Ark. And I honor her,
You know, you're right.
putting the bird in her hand.
So this is the dove that went out to find out if there was any water left?
Right. So since I love women,
That's
I love my
wonderful.
wife, Karen.
Oh, I know you do.
And I
You have how
love
many children?
I love
You have
animals
2
as well.
from Karen. And
Yeah, I got 2. I got 1 little kid from Karen, 4 years old Lee.
Yeah.
We got from my previous marriage. I got 2 daughters,
The little one I met
2
in-
and 20.
The one who was in the Army recently?
Right,
Right.
Runit. And we got from Karen previous marriage, DJ,
Good.
11, very
That's
smart
That's
kid.
like my family. His, yours, ours.
Right.
Wonderful. Let's go on to this other one. Now, this is the one with,
Okay, this sculpture,
if we can
the
get it.
name of this sculpture is The Shepherd.
Ah,
And
there we go.
This is about...
How big is this?
It's a long sculpture.
Yeah.
It's about 8 foot long.
Oh, boy.
And actually, about 5 months ago, it was purchased by the Nikko International.
Nico, the hotel, Japanese
the hotel Japanese.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
bought the Essex House recently.
Yeah.
They built a new hotel in Beverly Hills, and this is in the lobby of the hotel. They bought 2 sculptures for me, and I was very pleased.
Oh, I would be
That
too.
pleased that I went to to a show in Tokyo as well. And I tell you that the Japanese, actually, they love my painting.
They do, because it has a lot of what they like.
And
They like animals. And they
business-wise, I was very successful in that show. I will have to say business-wise, it sounds dirty to me.
No.
But I will put it this way. You see, I own a foundry, as I said now, and in order for me to have the ability to do what I want in art, that's the only way to do it. I have to be able to afford it.
Correct.
So,
which is always the problem. For
which
artists.
is exactly so many good artists that doesn't have the financial ability to do it.
Right.
And here I am. Thank God, I'm doing okay. I did the Chicago show this year.
Yeah.
The Chicago Art Expo, and the Tokyo Art Expo.
Did you have a good time in Tokyo?
The food is good.
Oh, and how?
Yeah, but in general, the Tokyo I didn't like. Well, if you compare East Hampton
wait, you can't compare.
with the green and the blue ocean here,
you can't.
What's Tokyo?
You're wading your way through people on the Ginza. I understand.
Right.
Now, I have one shot here. If we can get it on camera, is another very big one. Which one is this one?
Yeah, okay, this sculpture, Woman in the Wind, is a very light
what's on the
sculpture.
top there?
It's all made by bronze, but the top, the cloth
It's a cloth.
Yeah, it's have a patina, green patina.
Oh, right.
Okay, this sculpture I made 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, and it is the beginning of my long, skinny figure.
Yeah.
And I will say it was it is one of my first long figure.
It's a very flowing thing. This two I like too. If we can catch this one.
Okay, this this sculpture, it's about 4 feet long, not that big. But this is a marine subject, couple on a boat.
Couple on a boat.
On a boat, yeah. Very. By me, it's a romantic figure. And
why'd you put the wheels?
Well, generally speaking, I put wheels in a lot of my.
I know you do. I want to know why it's in all your work.
Since I did lately a sculpture, my recent sculpture, it's in the and got a lot of wheel, and I call him Journey Back to the Ancient World. And Journey Back to the Ancient World, that's, in general speaking, is the concept of my work in the recent 10 years, and I believe it's going for the future as well, because I find myself, I didn't finish this subject. And the wheels over there, it's a sort of maybe a wish to go forward to the back. Very good. It's complicated. No, go not forward to the back, to the simple word that we thought we had anyway. We thought we had.
And no, that makes much more sense. I've only thought about the wheel in another mythical way from the Bible with Ezekiel. But that too may very well be a subconscious thing. We're going back because we're trying to avoid all the sins of our industrial civilization.
You see, but in my painting, I use. People ask me, what do I use and how do I paint?
Yeah, well, that's why I asked you that myself. The technique, you mean?
The technique, and since I find myself sculpt my painting, I do sculpt them. I use the same tool, and I put some color on them.
What do you use? What kind of a tool? Other than brush?
Okay, as a concept, that's what I am saying.
Yeah.
I use everything available.
Yeah.
For me to reach
whatever you want.
Whatever I want to see. Right. And if it's my finger, or if it's my sandal, if I don't have anything else, or a fork, or a knife, or anything else. And sometimes, since sometimes I cannot repeat it, since it's not systemized.
I
I
know,
cannot
I know.
repeat the process on this painting. That's why you see in this painting.
This one over here?
This one over here,
Let's
yes.
see if we can catch it on the camera. This one over here is a horse.
Right. It's, I will say it's a different, right, it's a different system, and I didn't use, I didn't carve the painting into it.
No, you need brushwork and things like that?
Yes, brushwork and finger work, and as I say, everything is necessary to do it. And I was trying to repeat that kind of texture, and unfortunately I couldn't because it didn't come the same. But I will say, I will put it this way. I find myself going much more, I wouldn't say responsible, it's not the right word here, but I find myself that when I'm doing sculpture, it's not easy for me, as I said before, to release the sculpture or to compromise in any bit,
well,
in any little thing even.
Well, a lot of people don't, who are not working with clay or any other substance that is tactile. I know when kids work with clay, you have to watch a kid work with clay. They're born artists. From the very beginning, they're born, and they forget it as they get older. You watch a kid squeeze and push and pull, and he feels it. He likes the texture of it. Anything tactile to a child brings out that inner something as they're playing with it. And it can be any old thing that they create with it. You, in turn, are reaching back from your whatever primeval feeling and twisting and turning and feeling so that whatever's in your mind that you want to create will come out through your hands. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I exactly understand,
and
I agree with you.
it brings me to another question now, which I'd like to ask you. I know you had a varied beginning. You were born in Alexandria, is that correct?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was born in Alexandria.
Right.
My family, I told you about the 1500, came from Spain.
Oh, it's originally from the diaspora.
Right.
Okay.
Through Europe to Israel, to the Holy Land, in one of the holy places, Tzfat.
I know.
And,
up in the mountain, up in the hills.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the 18, they went to Egypt.
Ah, okay.
My grandfather was born in Israel still. And when I was a child, like I was 2.5 years old, my father died, and my mother took me back to Israel. She went back to Israel, and she remarried to one of the Holocaust victims. And I raised up, in the beginning I was in the orphanage, and then in a youth village.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. When you say youth, is that anything like a kibbutz, or is it something entirely different from a kibbutz?
Okay, you must understand that it was youth villages in Israel was a solution for the kids who came from the Holocaust.
From the Holocaust, so they were
without
treated,
parents.
Okay, so they were
so
treated.
it was, you see, when I say this story, some people, I see the eyes, they're looking like, feel pity for me.
No.
I want to tell you that this was, I compare it to, even to my child, I compare it to other people. My childhood was wonderful, very happy, among the forest, which remind me very much the atmosphere here.
Yeah.
You don't see so many forests and trees, and that's what the location of the youth village. And now in that youth village, they gave us everything that you can dream of. When sometimes I say to my friend, a rich family, they send
to private schools.
To private schools, Switzerland or whatever. And here over there, we really had great. They provide us with any culture or subject you can dream of,
and in
music, art, and
yes.
Obviously that's what came out of me.
That's right. And if you hadn't been exposed, there's that good possibility you wouldn't have found this niche.
I don't know about that.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but
they opened the door.
I think that that's what made me made me be involved on the
You know what it
on
reminds
the
me
nature.
of? Given the freedom, and I believe in this, this is my part, given the freedom to touch all these things when we're growing up, expose children to art, to music, to any of the things that we think are valuable to us in our lifetime, somewhere, somehow, it rubs off and they choose. There's a natural selection of where they would like to, even if it's not a profession, or not a vocation. You chose this art. Maybe it was there all the while within you from birth on, but you were exposed.
Okay, you see,
You get my point?
I know, I understand what you're saying, and let me give you a few thoughts about this. Because I've been asked by people, what made you do this, and what made you go to this direction or the other, and the answer is by me that I don't have any answer for it.
No.
And I lead by forces, I must say, that I don't have a control on them.
That is correct.
And I will say that I try to understand myself. Why do I do that and not a different
Did you get
thing?
an answer?
And maybe in 10 years, I have some explanation. Maybe it's not an explanation that I'm getting used to the answer I give here and there. But I lead from or through something that comes from inside. And that's what makes it difficult, because you see, in a way, difficult in a way that sometimes I have to do something and I cannot do it.
Why can't you do it? Because you don't know how or what?
No, because I don't have the feeling for it.
Feeling. Oh, all right. So
let me explain you something. Let me tell you something.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes to go. Tell me.
Okay, I was in Chicago Art Expo, and I do now 7 by 5 foot painting, big painting.
Big painting.
And was a couple, very nice couple. They bought the painting from me.
Yes.
And they came with another couple, and they say, you know, we like, if they wouldn't buy it, can you do something like this? Let me put it this way. I came here.
Oh, we got 1 minute to go.
I came here. I brought the 5 by 7. I was sitting 2 months here. I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Right.
Because it was ordered to do.
Okay. You see, I told you I have a foundry now in West Palm Beach.
Yes.
In 5 days from here, I'm going.
You're going back
to Florida. I live in Boca Raton.
Right.
And I own the foundry in West Palm Beach. Really.
You have a gallery in Boca Raton?
I got 3 galleries who represent me there.
Yeah,
Steiner Gallery in Bal Harbor Shopping Center in North Miami.
Yeah.
Sherry French Gallery in Palm Beach.
Palm Beach.
And in the Boca Raton Hotel, Corazin Gallery. But I welcome to anybody.
To look at the gallery, which I love to do.
Right, to look at the foundry. The foundry process is very interesting, and people can call me under Asher, and I will be very pleased to guide them to my foundry.
Thank you first for guiding me through your wonderful life and experiences, and for coming here today. I won't see you for another year. I hope you will be back. My very best to your relatives and friends, and good luck.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you brought me here.
I would love if the camera would just take a panorama of all this art before we close, so that everybody could see all the things we've displayed of Itzik. And say shalom.
Shalom, and see you next year.
See you next year.
This is Kesaria Harbor.